How's it? This is Mr. Heil, and today we're going to be learning more about Microsoft Word and specifically relating it to probably what you're going to use it the most, and that is writing papers. Writing papers, you got to know how to format. I know some teachers, professors in college, they really look at format and dock off a lot. There's one button that basically is a cheat code for teachers to see how you guys format. It's actually in the show paragraph button. If you click on that, you can see exactly how this page was formatted. So if you take shortcuts like space, 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 or do tabs and different things, and you think you may have it right, but it's not, then it's wrong. I'm currently taking a class in writing my dissertation that I just turned in an assignment and completed a class this morning. But I learned a lot. They use APA in this level, but here at school we use MLA. So I'm going to try to teach you some MLA as well as we work with this. Now, what I got counted off for doing that, hanging in it. Now, while I'm showing you these things, you should be practicing along on one of your papers that you have. And again, if you don't have a paper, just borrow your friend's paper to practice on or whatnot. So first of all, we have references, okay? And I have a bunch of references here, but just to make it more simple, I'll delete everything else. So let's just say I have this reference. Now a lot of people, they hit spacebar, right? And look, oh, if I hit spacebar, I can't move it over. But sometimes they do it to move it over so it looks like a hanging indent. Because the references, if it's more than one line, it needs to be indented. Now, all you have to do is highlight the text, all of it, for your reference. Control click, I'm on a Mac, and then you go to paragraph, okay, and then you choose for indentation, you choose hanging, okay, and 0.5 is the correct amount. So as you can see, now it's hanging, and it's correct now, okay. Again, references, this would be centered, and instead of going space, 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 or don't go space, 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 or go tab, okay? And don't even go with your formatting palette to alignment and center, okay? Remember, all you have to do is hit Command E for center, and it goes there. Now, if you are, let's see, if you can't remember E, like for center, you can make your own command key. If you go to Tools, and then I went onto your custom keyboard, okay, you can actually change for new shortcuts, and then change the shortcuts to customize them the way you want to. So that helps. Now, when you have an MLA, for MLA, you need to make sure that you follow these properties. Okay, 8.5 by 11 is typically the American standard size. Your header is supposed to be a 1/2 inch, and then it's supposed to be 1 inch margins all the way around. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. In Microsoft Word, go to Format, and then format the document. And in formatting the document, we're going to change all these to 1 inch. Okay. Now, as you can see, I put 1.3. Yeah, don't try to fool your professors by putting like 1.2 and 1.3 like I did. It doesn't work, and you shouldn't try to fool them anyway. And see, our headers is 0.5 like we had, so now we're good to go. And again, that's applied to the whole document, so we're good. You can also check your page setup just to make sure your printing is good, but we're not printing, so no need. And you just hit OK, and now it adjusts the margins. Okay. You can also see your margins at the top here. Okay, and then if you wanted to adjust them, you could just adjust it here as well. Okay, so that's your margins. Now, usually I never did this in high school. I never had a teacher ask me for this, but I'm gonna insert a title page. It's not going to be an official title page. It's just going to have the name of the title. So, but how are you going to get to another page before this page? Okay, what you're going to do is insert, break, and then a page break. and then it adds a page right before it. Okay. Now, for this page, I'm going to use the title, and for the assignment I had, it was exploratory research. Okay, so I'm going to paste the title right there. And notice that it's at the top. What if we want this title to be like centered on the page, like vertically? Right now it's horizontally centered. Okay, remember there's like this right align and then centered. But what about vertically? So down here. I do see students going like this, and enter, enter, enter. But again, we don't do that because we're smarter than that. So instead, we're going to go to Format Paragraph. Sorry, just kidding. Format Document. Okay, and in Document, you'll see your margins that we just did. Just make sure that they are still 1 inch. So we're good. And then go to Layout. And in Layout, it says vertical alignment, and instead of the default of top, you're going to change that to center. Okay, and again, apply that to the whole, not the whole document. You only want it applied to that section. Okay, so actually I'm going to go back, highlight only that title, so it only applies to that section, and then go back to Format Document, Layout, Top, and then not the whole document, because then everything would be just the selected text. And I hit OK. Okay, and Format Document. Let me make sure it happened. Vertical alignment center. This section. Okay. So now the title is centered, and everything else is not centered on the document. So instead of highlighting it, you can also just put your cursor at the beginning of the word and go to Format, Document, and then this section, and it works as well. Okay, so now that we have that, notice that I have my header at the top. Usually it's not on the first page as like a title page. So what I'm going to do is double click on the top to enable my header footer, or go to View Header Footer. Okay, and then in your formatting palette, you'll see you can insert a lot of different things. Okay, I'm going to have different first page checked, so that way, see, now it's gone. It doesn't show on the first page, but it does show on the second page. I'm also going to insert a page number at the bottom middle. So go ahead and insert a page number. Okay, and then we're going to center that, Command E, and then we're done with that. So there's our footer. So we got our title page, and we got a search. All right, so let's go down to this part. Okay, so our title is centered, Command E. Now before our title, you have to do MLA format on the left side. Now the MLA format for a paper is your name, and then it's, let me double check, your name, then the professor's name, then the class, and then the date with the number first, followed by the month. Okay, so I'm going to put, my professor was Dr. Williams, and the class was Research Strategies. Oh no, it's early. And again, my name isn't misspelled, that's how you spell it, but I just wanted to misspell strategy so that I could show you that a red little squiggly line is going to show up, and all you have to do is right click and hit strategies for that. And then you can hit enter, and then today's date, and that's the 25th of Jan. So I'm going to put 25 January 2011, and there's not supposed to be any commas, so, and you don't need it bolded, so Command B. Okay, and then there's no extra line spacing. So this is the correct MLA format. The reason why I know so much about this is I married an English teacher. Okay, so now our document's looking pretty good. One thing I'm going to add though is an outline. Okay, and before an outline, I'm going to add a table of contents. Now, most of these things you don't use in your papers, maybe not until college, or maybe if you go on get your doctorate. But I'm just going to show you just so you know. Okay, So first I'm going to put outline. Sorry, table of contents we'll do first. And for table of contents, we're going to use tabs. Okay. Now we're going to start out by, for table of contents, usually a table of contents includes like chapters, like chapter 1, chapter 2. If you don't have chapters, like it's not a novel book, you can just put the headings. So I can put exploratory research, for my table of contents. Okay. Now, it's called a leader. It's like dot, 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 dot. Now, do not go dot, dot, dot all the way to the right side and put a page number. Okay. We don't do that. Instead, what we do is we go to insert, and then we go to, format. Go to format, and then go to tabs. And in format tabs, we're going to set our tab position so that usually when we hit tab, it just goes over one space and we can type. Instead, we want to, when we hit tab, it goes all the way, and let's say it goes to the 6-inch mark up here. So we're going to go to format, tabs, and then we're going to put in our tab stop at 6 inches, okay? And the alignment is going to be left for the text. And then for leader, this is like the dot, dot, dot. We're going to choose this one, okay? Now, the biggest mistake people make is they just hit OK. Don't hit OK yet. Don't be jumpy. First, you have to hit set, okay? And now you can hit OK. So notice now it has our leader lines. So if I just hit tab, it has our leader lines, and I can go to page 3, okay? And I hit enter, and then I can go to my next bolded, like case studies. That was my next section, okay? And then here I hit enter, and then case studies, and then all I have to do again is hit tab. Let's see. Oh, and for it to, as you saw, I pasted it, right? And I hit tab. It no longer keeps it because I basically pasted a different text that doesn't have the tab. So to keep that tab, you can highlight this, hit copy format here in the paintbrush, and then highlight case studies, and it will give us the same type. So I can hit like 4. If I hit enter, and then I can type it in like conclusion, then it gives it automatically for you, and then you can put in like page 5. Okay, so that's how to do a table of contents. Now, if this was an online document and I wanted things linked, okay, I could highlight the text and hit do a bookmark and hyperlink, which we learned before. So I want you to also do that. So here's case studies. I'm going to highlight that, hit insert, bookmark. I'm going to call this case studies, okay, right here. And I'm going to hit add. Now I'm going to go up and highlight case studies and hit insert, hyperlink, or command K, because we want to use our keyboard. And instead of a web page, we're going to do a document. And here's the anchor. We're going to locate it. And the bookmark is right here. So I'm going to hit OK. And then do a screen tip. Case studies is fine. OK. So now when I control click on it, it goes right to case studies. Okay. Now these page numbers are correct, but they're going to be off a little bit because I'm going to bold this and center this, and this is not going to be bold. They're going to be off a little bit because we're going to add one more page, and that is an outline. So I'm basically going to just change these numbers. And there is a more advanced way to do an outline, and that will automate the numbers and do everything calculated for you. But it's a little more advanced, so I'll maybe show that to you in a later tutorial. So go ahead, insert break, page break. We go to the next page, and we're going to do an outline. Okay. Now in this outline, we're going to do MLA style. Now for MLA style, what you're going to start out with is for lettering, you're going to go to Format, Bullets and Numbering. And for your first numbering, MLA format is the Roman numeral sign, capitalized 1, 2, that kind of stuff. Okay. Ooh, do we want tabs? No, we don't want tabs. So what I can do is just highlight something that doesn't have tabs. Ooh, that has tabs. what you can do is just go here, go to Format, Tabs, and then you can like clear your tab, and then it'll go away. Okay, and then make sure that these have stayed the same. So in your outline, maybe it's introduction. Okay, and then hit enter. It should automatically show up as Roman numeral 2, and then you're gonna put maybe so if you're maybe research strategies or research methods. Okay, now if I hit enter and I have a sub topic for research methods, I'm going to hit tab, and then it's going to give me a different letter or symbol for my outline. Now that's not MLA, lowercase a, so I'm going to go to Format, Bullets and Numbering, and choose capitalize ABC. And for my A, I'm going to, for my research methods, I'm going to choose qualitative. Okay, and then B, I'll choose quantitative. Okay, now if I go for C and I want to go back to like a number 3, I do Shift Tab. Okay, that's Shift Tab, and I'm back over, and I can do my third one like that. Okay, so that's basically an outline, and I'm going to center that, and our outline is finished. Now, one thing I did want to show you is when you paste text into your essay that you've written. So let's say you want to make a quote and use source from the internet. So let's say you're writing this article on volcanoes, and you want to quote this. So you copy the text and then you paste it. Now, if you see this, that notice how it's bolded and it's different type of font. Sometimes it's really different, like sizes and colors get formatted as well. And notice that it's single and not double spaced like the rest. One thing that I really recommend, and something you need to do actually, is what I do is I go into usually just my browser, and if I copy text, I'll go up here to my browser and I'll paste it actually into my browser. Then I'll hit Command A and Command C and copy it, and then go back into Word and then paste it into here. Okay, and so usually what that does is it takes off the formatting, and the reason why it's bold is because this is bold here, and it took on those same properties of bold. So if I didn't want that, I could paste it like in here, and I paste it and see it's the same properties. Okay, so that's something that you would want to consider doing. You can also open up like Notepad and then paste into Notepad, and it will not keep the same properties as well. So make sure you do that, because you don't want different formats and things messing up your essay. Another thing I want to show you guys, and I think this is probably my favorite thing about Microsoft Word. Well, before I get into that, notice that you have your spelling grammar, and then you can use autocorrect and ignore all and all that. You also have your thesaurus, so you could choose a word like individuals. Let's say you always use that same word. Go to Tools Thesaurus, and you can look up that word and try to find a different similar word. You can also, in Tools, of course, word count is there. Let's see, one thing I want to show you guys was, let's say you're taking this document and you're sending it to a friend, okay, and you want to protect it, like in case someone else like reads your email and tries to take your paper. You can actually protect your document and then put in a password, and then tell your friend the password, email it to them, and then they can open it fine in case someone tries to steal it. Now, also for the thesaurus, instead of going here, you can also go on your little handy toolbar, and you can use the referencing tools here, and they also have a dictionary if you want to look up words, and then you can also do translations, so you can translate different things if you need help in that. There's also MLA. Sometimes you may be missing a period or a day, you forget how to do the format. Well, just click on the citation toolbar, and again, to get this toolbar, you just click right here on the toolbar, and you just hit plus for a reference and fill in the information, the required information, and hit OK, and it will spit out a nicely referenced resource that you can put into your Works Cited page. Okay, so those are really helpful tools that will make life a lot easier. Another thing to do is if you go to Tools and Autocorrect. Now let's say you're always writing United States of America, and instead of always typing out United States of America, you could just do USA B, okay, and replace that with United States of America, okay, and I'm gonna do USOA. Okay, so that means whenever I type in USOA, it's going to automatically change to the United States of America. So I'm going to hit add. You can notice also if you type text wrong, it automatically changes it for you, similar to like your phones do. So now if I type in United States of America, it automatically changes it. Okay. Another thing I'm going to show you is in Tools, you can go to Auto Summarize. And Auto Summarize is cool because it basically, Word is smart. It just takes off the key highlights of the paper. Sometimes teachers do this when they want to just see the highlights of your paper first. They can do that, and then you can show 25% of like the highlight. And so it looks for like key terms and key words that it uses, and then it highlights that part. See, the study collects primary data. So that was a key part. Here's another key part to gain valuable knowledge. It looks for these key words in order to summarize your paper. So the highlights are good for that. So that's another key feature. Now, I'm going to get back to showing you if you send your doc to your friend, you want them to make comments on it. So let's say this, one of the dangers. Okay, let's say they want to say, okay, what kind of dangers? So they can hit new comment, and the comment could be, what type of dangers are you talking about? Okay, and so when the person opens this up the second time, they'll read this comment and say, hey, I can make that change, and then you can just delete this comment by clicking that little X. Okay, also. Word has track changes. That basically means you just hit track changes here, and to get that you could just insert a comment first, and then this will be up here, and you just hit track changes. And now anything that you change, so if I delete this and just put C, notice that it says deleted and deleted, and it says everything that I've done. Okay, so if I make all these changes, it's gonna show that on the side here. So when your friend gets his document with all these comments, he can go through using this toolbar and then accept the change or reject each change, and then choose what they want to do. You can also email it directly from Word to it. So it's really helpful to notify that. So, so yeah, that's track changes. So go ahead and let's not do that. So just experiment a little bit, but then take the changes off and then put it back to where it was. So what we're going to do is what I said was my favorite thing to do, but to enable it, you need to go to your preferences, okay? And we're going to go under edit, and this one, spelling and grammar. And then what you're going to do is click on check grammar as you type, make sure that is, but also this one, show readability statistics. That's what we want to see, okay? And writing style, maybe you want it more formal, maybe you want it more technical, or casual, maybe it's just like a short story that's supposed to be more casual. So you can choose the writing style, so when it's checking your document, it'll be more easier and more strict on that. So you can choose accordingly. All right, So I'm going to recheck my document, and it's going to check for my grammar. Hit OK. And then I'm going to go up to Tools, Spelling and Grammar, and then I'm just going to go through it. Okay, and of course you would take the time to decide whether to change it or to ignore it. Okay, so when you're finished, it's going to bring up this little box. Now this box is key. Okay, first of all, it tells you, and again, it only brings up the box after you go through the spelling and grammar check. It tells you how many words and characters, paragraphs, sentences. But what I really like about this is it says, first of all, the average number of sentences per paragraph, so which is good. So notice I have shorter paragraphs, words per sentence. Make sure there's not gets too long, so it's run-on sentences, and then characters per word. Okay, so it uses these statistics to say what kind of level you're writing at. So when I wrote this paper, it's telling me that I write at a 12th grade or higher level. Okay, so Microsoft Word's pretty smart. It's pretty good about saying what level that you write about, and it decides on that by these averages. Okay, so of course, if you read like a children's book, the sentences are shorter, the words are easier, the words are shorter in length of the words. So those are things that it considers. So my grade level it's basically caps at around 12th, and it says just 12th and higher. So if yours is like 9th, 10th, 11th, then you'll know. Fleshgate reading ease. This is like what percentage, how easy it is to read, how well it flows together. So that was pretty good. Now, this is more of a technical paper because I do bring up a lot of technical terms. So 37% is kind of high. 10% or lower is actually really good. Passive sentences, you want to make sure this is actually lower than it is. This should be 10% or lower too. This is making sure all the tones are the same in a verb-noun agreement. So either it's all past tense or it's all present tense, and just making sure those are crucial. So yeah, that's a really helpful thing to know. Okay, so when you're finished with that, I hope you learn more about Microsoft Word and how to do some documentation on the papers.